Hey everyone, this week we're showing you the finished product first. We have our dinette.
Woo! It's beautiful. This is our modular dinette. It can be 5 different configurations. It can be a 2-person booth, it can be a 4-person booth, it can be a couch, it can be a guest bed, or it can be an L couch.
Pretty flexible, we're pretty excited about it, so stick around to see the cool mechanism of how we made it happen.
Thanks for watching.
So we've cut out basically the 2 main backs of the seats. So we'll have one back here and one over there. We had to make cutouts for the wheel well and where our electrical system sits underneath, but we want these in position and then we're going to kind of build off of that. We were going to build them outside the bus and then bring them on, but we decided that if we make everything square for real outside the bus, then it won't fit in the bus because the bus isn't square. So we're just kind of making sure everything sits on the bus how we want it to and building as we go here. So in case you're following along trying to build your own, these pieces are 40 inches tall total and 24 inches across. These are, we did 16 inches tall because we have a 6-inch cushion we're putting on top, but a normal seat height is 18 inches. Do what you need to do with your cushions, and then it is 23¼ inches wide because there will be another piece of 3/4 plywood that sits flush with the edge of this that will slide in and out onto that. So that is just short to accommodate that. That piece will sit here. That'll be the front of the seat. This will sit back here as the back. Next we're going to make some supports to finish boxing in this fixed part. So we have 25-inch pieces on this side, and there are only 19 on the other side, and those will just help us frame out this first fixed portion. So do we want to screw that together and...
Yeah.
The next part that we did was we made a second front piece that's 23¼ by 16. So that'll slide in and out of in front of the next part. There's a lip that'll go on each side, which we did about 23¼ by 3 inches. So that's where, once we have the table, that'll come and rest on those so it can pull out and be a bed. And then we have a side piece for each one, which is just a little longer than the setup we already have. So this one is 26½ to accommodate the extra 3/4 inches of the new front piece, and this one for us is 20½ inches long. Both are 16 3/4 tall because they have to be 3/4 inch taller than the front pieces to be flush with the lip that'll go on the front. I know that's a little confusing, but hopefully it'll be helpful for anyone who's actually trying to copy this and do this. And so we're about to be done for the day here, but I'll just give you a quick look of how basically these pieces and the piece on top of them are going to slide out once they're all connected, and that's how we're going to end up having the front on there, the lip that'll go all the way across, and it'll be twice as wide to make a bed. So
Yeah, or a 4-person booth.
yeah, or a 4 to 6-person booth. So we'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to show that a little better than this.
We just cut 2 of these triangle pieces and they will screw into the base, the seat that slides out, so it'll slide out all together like this. And then we cut a top piece as well for the top of the seat, which this triangle bit will slide into and under, so it all fits together nicely when we're in our 2-person booth mode situation.
And what's the slope on that triangle piece?
Oh yeah, for our triangle piece we have 4 inches at the top and 1 inch at the bottom to give a 3-inch differential, right?
Yeah, except it's 4 inches at the bottom and 1 inch on the top.
4 inches at the bottom, 1 inch at the top, and then that's the slope, you know, that will lean back against, because you don't want a straight up and down chair. It's not very comfortable. We cut out the backrest for the top piece. The backrest is going to attach to the little triangle bit we cut out, and then this support piece across the bottom. And then because we cut this triangle on an angle, there's an angle on the triangle, we also did a little bevel, is that the right word? We did a beveled edge on this top piece so that the angle from the triangle just continued all the way to the top. Time to screw it in?
Yeah, we're gonna attach that and then it'll be ready to slide around with the rest of the base.
Our back piece is all attached, and we just cut out the seat piece for each seat. This isn't attached yet, but the basic dimensions are the width of your seat. Ours is 24 inches, and then however deep your seat is minus an inch. So we're leaving this little ledge at the front of our seat for when our table drops down. It will drop onto this ledge and be flush with, or as flush as possible, with our seats. So the idea is this piece will be on hinges, so we can hinge it up and access storage underneath. And then it'll pull out as part of this whole section. And then we have our 4-person booth.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's super cool. And obviously, I'm sure everyone's dying to see. It's very comfy too. One other thing I want to mention, if you want to zoom back out, is that we made this seat, we basically made the total length of our booth to be over 6 feet because we want people to be able to sleep on it. So this length is long enough for someone to sleep on. And the way we wanted to do it, just to make it look nice and fit our needs, was to make this seat a little deeper and this seat is a little shallower. So when you're sitting here, you're kind of right up against the backrest. When you're sitting here, we might do like a double cushion situation, so you have a backrest, or it's just a little bit more of a lounge seat. So yeah, do whatever you need to fit your bus.
We want to build the seat for the second part, but before we did that, we had to know how far out the mobile sections were going to sit. And so something we just did this morning was we had this stopping piece over on this end, and so that is 3/4 of an inch in so that this can still slide and it sits flush with this other piece. And so we just have a thin strip of maybe 2 inches or so that hangs down on this side now. We did pocket holes underneath that. Slides right along these two, and then it'll also stop on this fixed edge so that this no longer comes as far in and out when we're trying to slide it, and it really just makes everything move a lot cleaner, and there's no risk that the bed's gonna split in half in the middle of the night while someone's sleeping on it. So
we've cut the back and seat pieces that are going to fold away to allow this seat to close. So basically it'll work something like this seat folds up and then everything falls apart. Then they both disappear back into here so that this can close. So for us, this width was 20¼ inches, and that was just so that it could slide into this area. So that fits between here and here. So the next thing we're going to do is build our little hinge mechanism to allow these pieces to hinge right here and open and close. I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but this couch dinette bed design is not ours. We did not come up with it. We are following a design from Romeo Ray on Instagram. I will put his Instagram up here and link it down below. Obviously, we had to make a couple of tweaks to make it fit into our bus specifically, but when we saw his design on his page, we thought that that was exactly what we wanted. So it's working out perfectly for us so far, and definitely check his out because he did it probably a lot cleaner than we did. But I just started working on the hinge mechanism that is going to allow our hidden seat and back to fold up out of the seat back. So I will show you guys how I make these and how it'll work. It'll make a lot more sense once you actually see it in action. Right now it just looks like a mess of hinges. Alright, so this is our seat bottom. The hinges that I just made are right here, and I'm going to screw this last hinge into our seat support that runs across the back of the chair. These are all just pieces of scrap wood to hold this up close enough to this support so I can get the hinges in, since it's only me right now. And yeah, once I screw these in, we should have our functioning seat. This is Gavin's first time seeing my hinge work. Try it.
Wow. Good job.
Thank you. As you just saw, the hinge mechanism works great. Unfortunately, since our design isn't, the exact same as the original guy's design, when we go to close our seat, this piece isn't far enough back to allow the seat to slide closed. So we need to do a little troubleshooting, figure out if we can build this a little differently so that our seat can close and be our two-person booth setup, since that's probably how we'll have it the most. Yeah, let's see if we can figure it out.
The troubles have been shot. And we installed the hinges on this side, so now this side of our booth is complete. Feeling pretty good about that. And so this is its good normal position. We'll have just a seat at the table, one for each of us. It'll have, the seat will be able to lift up so we can access this box down here for storage. And then when we want guests, we can slide this out. And then these pieces, we'll take this out, and this folds down. Will come up, and this piece will just bracket onto there, either that way or that way, and we'll have the seat on this side too. So table, booth, bed, it does it all.
Yeah, so our fix was just removing the piece that the seat was getting caught on.
Yeah, so before these two pieces were attached, that was lifting up, but that was getting in the way of this, so we removed that. I put some brackets on it, so now it'll just fit onto that piece of plywood, and the weight of the seat will help hold that down, and hopefully with the table on there, it'll still be sturdy enough to sleep on. The only other thing that we had to do was in the back, the piece that we put across here ended up being in the way when we were sliding it in against the hinges, so I just cut a little notch out of that. So that now that little triangle I cut out slides right past the hinges when we're storing it away, but pretty psyched.
So I just finished making our table. It is literally just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I sanded down. I added some edge banding around the edges. It was super easy. You literally just iron it on with your house iron. And that just makes it look like it's one solid piece of wood instead of ply. And then I just stained the entire thing and coated it with about 4 coats of polyurethane sealant, just for durability and waterproofing and whatnot. So here it is. It is looking great, and our table legs have arrived. So we bought these RV table legs. They come with these 2 bases and mounts. One of these will mount into the floor, one will mount onto the bottom of the table, and then the table leg fits right in. So I'm going to assemble these and screw them in now.
This is our dinette's most evolved form, all the pieces out. It's our 4-person eating area, 6 if you're small. I'm just going to run down how we basically put everything away and kind of show how everything closes up to just be its normal setup. So this table right now is loose just on its leg that we installed, but we're going to install something so that it basically latches into this table to make it a little more sturdy, I guess. So this table, I just pull off of its base, and right now we're thinking it fits nicely against the wall of this closet standing up, takes up very little room, slid into there, and then similarly the table leg can go in a closet somewhere. And so with that I can fold our extra seats away, and our other seats will just slide into place. And just like that, all our friends are gone and it's back to the 2 of us.
Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this all made sense. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments and we can, do some more videos. It's definitely hard to show all the movements in this small space, but it does work super well and we're really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, took some troubleshooting. There's more moving parts than maybe we thought there would be, but we think it's pretty cool, and we look forward to being able to have guests over and have them sleep over, and so we think it's gonna really be a good use of space here for us.
Yeah, it's perfect. Anyways, we will see you next week with some more exciting projects.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.